Hey, this is Dave with Rough Notes Magazine. We're all about helping agents and brokers thrive, and we're impressed with what you're doing. Can we feature you and your team on our front cover?
Tell me the thought you first had when you found out that you were going to be on the cover of Rough Notes magazine. Janet?
My first thought was I was very excited and very honored. And then the last thought was nervous.
I bet. Angela?
Um, Happy ultimately, right? After you get over the shock that you get chosen for such an honor. And I would say humble, just very humbling. Um, it's just an amazing opportunity. So I
How
would
did
say
you
humble.
guys how did you guys release it to your staff and your team? Because did they understand the importance like sometimes we do as agency owners?
I think that they tried to understand. I think it just sets on a different level. When you're an
Mm,
owner, you run in
mhm.
that kind of arena and you know what those things mean. So after we explained it to staff, like, the magnitude of it and what it is and what a great honor it was, they were pretty excited. Yeah.
I bet you they were. And at the end of the day, it has to do with them, right? You
Yeah,
guys are just like
absolutely.
the two heads that
Yeah,
you get credit for starting it and being the one. I
right.
always tell my team, we stand shoulder to shoulder, but if the cops come in or the government comes in because we didn't pay the taxes, we're the ones that have to step up. But other than that, everybody else is even in here, you know?
Right.
And I hope
Absolutely.
that never happens, but
Right. Yeah.
um, yeah. So tell me a little bit. They're in Burlington, right? I
Burlington,
remember in
Kansas. Yeah.
Burlington, 2,500 people. Tell me what your agency looks like. Give me so that they can relate the listeners.
So our agency consists of three physical locations. We have Burlington is where we originated, and we've expanded into the Emporia, Kansas area and Garnett, Kansas area. And we staff approximately 22 people, and we focus on we have different departments. We have commercial lines, personal lines, farm, ag, crop, life, Medicare, and then we also have a real estate division in our Burlington branch.
Right. So not doing much, not doing much.
No.
And then say about 70% commercial, and you guys are in the oil
Mhm.
and gas, but I believe, and I've known this for a while from Angela, that you guys do municipalities and stuff like that. Is that
We do.
schools and cities? What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's your rural water districts, museums, libraries, schools, cities,
Gotcha.
counties, townships. So, yeah,
Wow.
all those
Okay.
things.
How did you get into that, Angela and Jen? I'm curious.
Well, the
So,
agency that go ahead, Janet.
Go ahead,
yeah, the
Janet.
agency that originated in the Burlington location, they had originally the just local, that like county city school. And so we've maintained that and continued to service it over the years, and since then have expanded that division. So now we have other counties, cities, and school districts throughout our region.
So also so that everybody understands, you Rough Notes listeners, they are very similar to Travis and I, but they don't know what Travis and I are basically. So Janet is handling the books. I'm assuming probably more of the cautious one. I only say that because like that's in my own brain.
Yes,
But then Angela
absolutely.
is doing more of the sales and marketing. I mean, I bet you guys probably overlap, but as far as the main things, am I
Yeah,
correct? Is that how it goes?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you guys were friends, even when I believe it was in college, and if I'm correct from my notes, you guys weren't like best of friends roommates. It was how, hey, I need to split the rent with somebody roommate. Is that right?
Exactly. That's how it started a long time ago. Yeah.
A long time ago. Shh, that's only like 10 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
maybe seven.
Just a
Yeah,
quick
no big
minute.
deal. Yeah, and so then and Janet, so you were working at the agency and you reached out to Angela, right? What was the reason why you did that? Why'd you reach out to her?
So when we were roommates, we did run in different circles. A, a friend that common colleague, you might say, I played softball with knew Angela and said she was looking for a roommate as well. And so, yes, we didn't know each other at all, moved in together, and she had her circle, I had mine. But one of the things I did notice about her when we lived together is her work ethic. She, at that time, going to college and managing multiple jobs, putting yourself through school. Um, like I said, we grew up a little bit differently. So that was very
Mm-hmm.
impressive to me, where I probably wouldn't have had to work so many different jobs. My parents provided that for me. So I really appreciated that drive and initiative with her. And then over the years, we stayed in contact. There was probably about a 17-year gap between when we lived together and when I got her to move back here.
Oh, wow.
So when I started in the agency here, it was a mom and pop organization. And unfortunately, one of the owners passed away about 2.5 years after I started. And so they sold out to a larger conglomerate that had several branches. And at the time, they needed a manager. And I told them I was a producer at the time and that I didn't want to manage people, but I had the perfect candidate for them. I knew Angela had just had a child, and hopefully I could convince her to move back to the rural small town because of her. Because without the child, Church, I don't know that she would have came back. She wanted
Makes
to
sense.
bring him up in a rural community, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, "You can come back here and manage our agency." Because I'll let her tell you what she was doing at the time.
Yeah. Angela?
I was managing a medical office. So I
Mm-hmm.
had 15 physicians and 50 staff. And so I was in a much larger city. But yeah, things change when you have a child and priorities change. So to come back to a small town, and I had family here. So moving back to Burlington, it fit.
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to raise kids and stuff like that. That's always a
Yeah,
nice feeling as well. I'm
absolutely.
going to ask you the same thing, Angela, but I'll start with you, Janet. What does Angela do better than you?
Uh, lots of things. So I think her ability to be so innovative, and always constantly looking for change and how can we be better. Technology absolutely is one of her strong suits. And I would say the number one strong suits that she has that I don't is her HR background and dealing with people. It's huge in any organization. And she is, when I never got the privilege of working underneath her, I originally just witnessed her work ethic. But when she did come here, she was not only my manager, but she was my um, account manager on commercial accounts. So I got to work with her as a producer as well. And
Gotcha.
so um, I knew that if I was going to go into business with anyone, it would be her because of her traits and experiences that that she had, the qualities she had that I didn't, that I lacked.
Angela, how about you? What does she do better than you?
Well, again, like Janet said, she does a lot of things better than I do.
Mhm.
I would say in the industry, um, hands down, I would put Janet up against anybody when it comes to reading policies, claims, um, knowing coverages. She's just very smart on that. Math is like her second language.
Mm,
And so it's
that's
got to
nice.
make sense to her. That's how she works. Her and our brains are totally different on how we look at things logically. And so, I mean, she she won't give up. I mean, she just does not give up when it comes to anything that she feels should make sense. And in our industry, it's tough because some things don't make
Mhm.
sense.
Right.
And she'll just fight to the end. Like they got to prove why they're not going to handle a claim or why they're not going to pay a claim. And we literally, I think the first awareness to that is one time she had an adjuster who finally said, "Fine, I'll pay it. Just can we get off the
Mhm.
call?" Because she wouldn't give up. So that tenacity is huge.
Yeah.
You know,
I
it Go ahead, Janet.
No, I am very analytical and I like data. So I guess I could have been like an accountant or an attorney or something.
Okay, well, thank God you're in insurance because
Yeah.
it's a lot more fun. It truly is. Now, I was just talking with my wife, and I don't think this has to do with everybody, but I was just talking to her. It's been nice out, very low humidity. You guys get a little bit of the weather before we do. It's probably been pretty
Yeah.
nice there. And I was talking to her about the fact that, like so many people, I listen to the Founders podcast. I'm really not a podcaster, but if anybody out there is like, hey, I kind of like podcasts, don't listen to the Founders podcast, especially if you're a business owner. It's really phenomenal. And one of the things that I've noticed about all of the founders, like the high level founders, is they wanted to do things on their own. They didn't want to give up control. And I really find that hard to really bring in because I take it personally, right? Because
Yeah.
Travis and I are unbelievable partners. I wouldn't want to do it without someone like Travis. Travis, not trying to paint any of you two. It seems like Travis would be more Janet. I would be more
Yes.
Angela,
Yeah.
right? And for you, Rough Notes listeners, they know Travis and all of
Oh,
us.
yeah,
We
yeah.
we've hung out many times. Probably had more beers than we probably should with one another. But we learned a lot. And so,
Yep.
but the thing is that
Networking, Jason, networking.
that's the best way to say it. Networking, yeah, networking with water is just not as fun. So, so,
Exactly.
so the thing about it is that I really see that like I couldn't have it any other way, and I think one of the things that makes it work, and I think a lot of times when people get with situations where the partnership doesn't work, I would say maybe it's me. If I asked 10 people should they be with a partner or not in business, 8 of them would probably say no. It just seems to
Yep.
me that people are like, hey, I think the genius and the key to this is that we're literally opposites of one another. And I think that's where the partnerships have a problem, right? If you're both like Angela, problem. If you're both like
Yeah.
Janet, problem, right? But it's
Correct.
like, it just
Absolutely.
seems like I know if I don't want to deal with something, that is probably something Travis loves to do. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's probably really good at it. And do you guys
Agree.
find that to be kind of similar with you two?
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mhm. I bet
100%.
you there's a lot of
Yeah.
people listening to this that if you have a great partner that you wouldn't do it, it's probably very similar. And if you've had a partnership where it didn't work out, you were probably very similar as you two,
Right.
Hmm.
those I was just talking with Andrea about that because it's just a really unique thing. It really truly is. So I just thought that was pretty good. Who handles the hard employee conversations, Angela or Janet?
That would be
Angela.
me.
I'm figuring. I was figuring you. Yes. Um, and now here is when it comes to you said that you mentioned that you did like farm and ag and stuff. Do you have somebody who specifically does that, or do you
Mhm.
handle that as well, Angela or Janet?
So
Well,
yeah, we do have. Yeah. Go ahead, Angela.
Go ahead,
I
Angela.
said that would be Janet's arena. She actually grew up
Oh
on a
wow.
farm. And, Janet, I'll let
Oh
you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we do have an ag division, and when I started here, I think that the owners thought that I would take over a lot of the crop and do that because not only did I grow up on a farm, but after I got out of school, I went to work. My dad owned a grain elevator, and so I worked for him for 11 years, and I actually had my straight grain license, inspection license, and dealt a lot with the government on different things, commodity payments and stuff. So when I came here, I did like writing farm. Crop was a little bit different. We still do that within the agency, but I did write some grain elevators and some larger like commercial ag as well as farms. So yeah, that was kind of my
well.
background.
First of all, having farm agents today is a very rare thing. You don't run into a lot of them. And then
Mhm.
am I correct that by saying being a female farm writer, I don't know if I've ever met another agent who is a farm writer that rates farm. Am I right about that, Janet?
Yeah, it does take a different personality because farmers can be a little bit more challenging sometimes to deal with as far as in their network. And I did develop a comfortability with them. In fact, over the years here locally, because of working at the elevator, they had nicknamed me Doc, and we just kind of had that relationship. So I think that was they knew I knew what I was talking about, and they knew I knew the industry. So it was
Boom.
beneficial. Yeah.
Blazed right through it, just like
Yeah.
powerful women do. Get out of
Yeah.
my way, barrier.
Yeah.
I'm coming right through.
Yeah.
Glass ceiling, what?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about something that's big right now. Always has been, but technology. I know that is something that you guys have always been, you ladies have always been the forefront on. And tell me about how you utilize technology in your agency. And it's a big importance to you guys. Am I correct,
Yes.
Angela?
Yeah, it's huge for us. It's huge for me. I totally geek out on technology. I love it. Jason, we, have gone to even conferences, with you, seen you there, whatever tech. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's important. It's where, it's where the nation's going. It's where the world's going. So we look at that like, you have to be using technology or you're just going to be behind. And every single day, it almost is like one of those things like we've got to stay up on this. Newer generations, a lot of times they're not going to be walking through a door. They want to be able to reach you via tech, right? Is it social
Mm-hmm.
media? Is it a mobile app? So on and so forth. So, we have a lot of the common things that a lot of agencies do. There are some agencies that don't. And I understand their reasoning behind it, but a VoIP system. We use AI inside our agency. We use bots inside our agency, on our software. We just find that very uh, user friendly. We
Mm-hmm.
have the what should I say?
Virtual
The chat
employees, even,
bots.
which
Yep,
I know
virtual
that's not
employees.
technology, but it is. It really truly
Yeah,
is. I know that sounds
yeah.
weird, but it is. Yeah. Hey,
It's kind
explain
of
to
the
me your
old
bots
saying.
real quick. Explain
Yep.
what is that bots? What is some AI? Can you give me some examples?
So the bots that we did create, we helped build them with a company, and so we actually were like, okay, we wanted to do this task that a licensed insurance agent shouldn't have to do, and
Gotcha.
so that it automated a lot of things that we wanted specifically for our agency. And so it was a build. I mean, it took a while to make the build, but once you did it and it saved time for your customers and for your staff, it was a win-win. So yeah, we firmly believe in using automations, and bot was one of them.
And you've been using virtual employees 7,
Long
8.
time,
I mean, I can't even remember. You've been using them for a long time.
long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
10,
And
10
they're
years
huge.
easy. Yes,
Yeah, and they
absolutely.
are so huge. They're so huge.
Yeah,
I mean, what the saying is 60% of what we do on a daily basis doesn't require a license, but yet we have 80 to 90% of everything we do, we give to a licensed person. And
right.
I just, every year that goes by, I think this is becoming more and more and more important. And I think that even when we're talking about the workforce, the future workforce of an agency is bots, is agentic bots, and some of the stuff. So it's just really awesome that you guys are already ahead of that curve. And then obviously, Janet, you understand the importance of it, but also being a numbers person, that inflates the budget, that
It
inflates
does.
what we were spending. And as an industry, we spend so little on technology. If you try to compare yourself against other agencies, you would be like, whoa, we're overspending, but really
We do.
everybody else is underspending,
Yeah.
so what are your thoughts on that, Janet?
So I do look at that, and you're correct. We are way over budget on technology, but I feel like that with the industry, and because I deal with carrier relations, and I know the importance of staying up with the technology to be able to communicate, quote, the efficiencies with carriers, that we have to do a lot of it. And I've even had like marketing reps, talk about some of them that aren't staying up with that. My concern for the future would be, are some of those going to be obsolete? Because carriers are putting more and more back on the agencies to do a lot of things that they used to provide, whether it's even just mailing out policies or whatever. Everything's digital, quoting ourselves and everything. So I know that right now we may not be seeing as much of the return on investments that I think in the future we will. So I am excited about when she brings a lot of that to me. I know that it is a big cost, but I try to look at it more long term and then just in that specific year,
Yeah, no, I understand. It is. It's an
the
absolute
investment.
giant thing. One other thing I want to say also that I saw in the notes is that you guys have form intake. Am I right about that? Things that come
Mhm,
into the agency. I didn't. Okay, I was scared to
mhm.
ask that, and you'd be like, no.
Yeah, yeah,
But
we
you
do.
know,
Yeah.
so things that so you guys are receiving changes and other things. Everything's going into a form, so it's structured and then it's dispersed amongst where it goes. Right.
Right.
Yep. And yep, mobile app as well, so our clients can reach us anytime. So they can put those
Mm-hmm.
requests in there as well. But yeah, we do have intake forms on our website too. Mhm.
I don't think that people realize, and I will make the prediction, and that's why I think that you don't realize how great you are in the catbird seat here. In the near future, within 12 to 24 months, every agency will be collecting things in a form. It's not an if, ands, buts about it. That's why when I saw that in my notes, I was like, wow, they have no idea. Because one of the things we don't really think about is we don't think about how we're going to talk to AI, how we're going to talk to agentic bots. You're not going to be able just to like take the information down on an auto change and then sit there and talk into it or type it into a prompt. That's not how it's going to work. It's going to work on the fact that here's the fields, here's the data. The bot takes those fields, goes to the agency's or agent or the carrier website and puts that information in there. I cannot explain it. And all the Rough Notes listeners, if there's one place you can start, it's by starting with forms. Being able that if somebody calls in, here's what we send out, here's what we do. And then, even for us, it even works on the producer side because I have producers
Yeah.
who somebody calls in for a personal lines policy, but yet they're a commercial producer. They don't necessarily know the questions to ask. They can open up the form and just fill the damn form out. It's that
Mhm.
simple. And then everybody has the information they need. I cannot, I promise you, come back in 2 years, Rough Notes listeners. 80% of businesses will be putting things in form because you'll be forced to. It's because that's how you're going to talk to our future workforce.
Yep.
Also, if you're talking with virtual employees, it's something that's very helpful in getting that information in there. So
Yeah.
you guys
So
are
no,
way ahead of the
yeah,
curve on that. Janet?
yeah. Not only has that improved our efficiencies, but I will tell you that the documentation part, as far as um, what's attached in accounts and being able to. So when we talked about Angela is the one who deals with difficult employees. Um, it's interesting, and people may be surprised since because of what they know about me so far. But when it comes to claims or something that there may be claims issue or a customer that's unhappy for some reason, that does get sent to me. I deal with that,
Mm,
and for me, it has been since we've started becoming so more automated and everything's digital, and with those intake forms, going and researching what's been done, how was it done, what time was it done, and what was requested has been so much easier um, to build that portfolio of you know
data.
that transaction. Yes.
You said that at the beginning. You love the data. So that's why when I started talking about the forums, Miss Payne hopped right on that.
hmm
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna do a little rapid fire. It's not exactly like a rapid fire. It's cast fire style. So we're gonna start with Angela.
Okay.
And I want you to give me Burlington, Kansas in 3 words.
Loyal, hometown, and safe.
Okay, love that. Janet?
Same question
Yeah.
into Burlington. I would say it's close knit as far as like the community. Uh, and with that, I would say it's a very supportive community. And that has to do a lot with like loyal. Yeah.
Janet, first job ever.
First job ever is at I made stuffed animals. I put squeakers in toys. with a hot glue gun.
Wow. Never heard that one ever said. Put squeakers in toys.
I
All right,
did. I
Angela,
worked
you
at
first job?
Yeah, fireworks stand.
Fireworks stand. Okay. I'm glad I
Yeah.
asked that question.
Yeah.
Chiefs fan, who's the biggest one?
Angela.
Oh, yeah.
I would have guessed, but I had no reasoning for that. I really, truly didn't. Janet, you're also a Chiefs fan, I assume?
I am. It's just that Angela is a lot more into it. She's a way more that competitive edge. I mean, gets really into it. You would think
Okay.
she is actually on the team.
Commercial lines or personal lines? Janet,
Commercial.
Angela,
Same commercial.
commercial. You said personal though, Janet, right? Didn't you? Or did she say
Commercial.
No, she said
Oh, you
commercial.
said commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Pays a lot better and you
Yeah.
deal with smarter people. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be real. Walk-in client or mobile app client? Who's more loyal, Angela?
Walk in.
Mhm.
Janet?
Agree. Walk in.
Yeah. Okay. Bots. This is on here, but I think we may know bots and a virtual assistant. Is that a gimmick or a game changer?
Game changer.
Yeah. And you too, Janet. You feel the same way?
I'll have to just defer to Angela's answer. on
Okay.
that.
Yeah. It is. It is a game
Yeah.
changer, and I can see it.
The
I
benefits
can't.
of both, but yes.
I can't explain it how great they have been. Okay, so I think this might have been in the notes, but game show night or Top Golf, what's the best team event?
Ooh,
Game
that's
show.
tough.
Oh, really, Janet?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that
I would-
people
yeah.
was more competitive.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then ending on one thing, and this is a wild one, one carrier habit that drives you nuts. Give me one of those carrier, they're still our partners. We're not bad mouthing them, but there's things about us that drive them nuts. What's one thing, Angela, about a carrier that drives you nuts?
You know what? I was just working on that. We'll get that to you this week.
Yes. Angela, you knocked that out of the park, sister. Janet?
So for me, it is only communicating via email and not picking up the phone and being able to talk to someone. I know that there's still carriers out there that we can do that, but they're far and few between. I think there's so much. I'm all for automation and emails, or just for speed. But when we need to get a hold of an underwriter, I want to be able to talk to one.
And probably something that's the most important to you guys. I know that you guys have kids, but you also have grandkids.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just got to tell you, it's Claude. It's not me. But Claude said 2 grandmothers running a 10-state operation. Oh, I thought that was really funny when he said that. Because I'm thinking like that they're not grandmother. Well, I guess they are grandmothers, but you sure as the heck don't look and act like grandmothers. That's why I thought it was funny when Claude said that. So I thought that was great. But hey, no, thank you. And once again, congratulations. I'm going to end it I'll start with Angela, then we'll go to Janet. Just any kind of wrap up that you want to say about this great honor or anything. Angela, go ahead.
Yeah. Again, Rough Notes is amazing. I think that they see the independent agent, and that's huge. So I can't tell them how much it means to me, and just the time that they spent with us, and even who they work with and represent is huge. And so I just can't even thank Rough Notes enough for this honor and choosing us. And it's not taken lightly. Our staff was honored. We're still honored and excited, actually. Very excited.
Janet?
Yeah, pretty much what Angela said. I mean, it was a great honor, and working with them has been amazing as far as what they are capturing and the stories that they tell. And I get, every month a copy of the Rough Notes in on my desk, as does every staff member. And, to get the opportunity and to be looked at the way that some of the other people who have in agencies that bid on the cover is truly, I mean, an honor and just So it feels so rewarding and feel blessed to be even in a position that we're able to work with everyone at this level.
Yes, well, you should feel honored. It's somewhere around 240, 250. I don't know exactly that of people that have been on the front cover. And so you figure we have 40,000 agencies, but over the last 20 years that they've done this, you can only imagine how many agencies have come and gone and didn't get that
Right.
opportunity.
Right.
So it is really, really awesome. I always feel honored, not because I get to do this podcast, but because most of the people that win, I know. And I
Mm.
love the fact that tells me that I'm hanging out with the right people to know some people like yourself. So that's been fantastic. So I do once again congratulate to you guys and I hate actually that saying. We just say guys, don't we, all the time? You guys.
It's
And
fine.
sometimes
It's fine.
I'll tell you what. I know. I'll tell you what though. True story. I'm probably 2 years into it. I'm calling some places over in St. Louis. I finally get this business that I really want to talk. I get the lady owner on the phone and I said, I just really like to talk to you guys and come over and see you. And she said, well, we're a woman owned business and there's no guys here. And she hung up on me. And so in my brain, whether that's a butthead or not, that was her choice, right? But like every time I say you guys and I'm speaking to women, it's still like burned into my brain like 24 years later, you know? And guess what? I still say it. So, anyways, ladies, once again, thank you very much. I think that this is great. It's an honor. It just shows that Dave and his team do know what's going on out there because they chose people
Absolutely.
like yourself.
Oh,
And one of the
thanks.
greatest things, it's not all the stuff that we talked about. What I love about most of the front cover winners and those people who grace that cover is you're the example that independent agents need so that when somebody drives by, they just don't point and say, yeah, that's where my grandma and grandpa used to have their
Mhm.
their insurance, right? That when people are meeting and doing business like yourself, they walk away understanding how great the independent agent is. And so thank
Mhm.
you on behalf of the agents for that. Okay. All
All
right.
right. Well,
Thank you very much. And so, all
thanks,
you Rough
Jason.
Notes listeners, we're going from the physical page to the digital stream. And that's what this was, the front cover, a Rough Notes magazine podcast. We will see you later.